Yo guys, it's your boy Mikey. Today we're talking about the conspiracy that artificial intelligence is not something that's new, that's introduced in the last decade, or something they had throughout antiquity in ancient civilizations, and the elites whose control of dissemination information, they already possess this every ancient technology, and they're slowly reintroducing to the public masses. So the conspiracy says that they already had AI at certain point in time back in antiquity and ancient history, but now they actually releasing to the public, and the military and every world organization elites have some kind of much more advanced technology they're not releasing, like these kinds of things. AI, artificial intelligence, these things always existed back in the day. It's not something that's new and given us to the public. It's always been existed. Like, it's crazy.
Have we just found exactly how AI was given back to us, back engineered, and brought back into the public's view? We all understand at this point that the timeline, the one that we are currently living in, it had a reset. Something massive happened, where technology begins flying back at us, starting around 1800. Everything from the car, the plane, the train, the phone, the TV, the light bulb, and power tools, you name it, where we are told that nothing happened before this for millions of years. Yet the buildings, the structures, they tell us a much different story of an advanced previous civilization here before all of us, before a worldwide massive reset. And what happened in the 1920s was the beginning of our timeline, finding artificial intelligence and welcoming it back into the world, where we have seen that in the
And population research like this always happened throughout its history. Civilizations rise and civilizations fall. This has been happening throughout history, and the elites of the ruling class have information of this, some kind of advanced technology, or they're in possession of some advanced technology. They're not purposely releasing to the public.
early 1900s, they begin excavations in Egypt underneath the Sphinx. Yet we are all told and have shown that Zahi Hawass and the Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities repeatedly state that there is nothing beneath the Sphinx. No chambers, no tunnels, and we have shown that the Serapeum of Saqqara hold massive tombs built for giants. Yet we are all told that it was just for bulls, and there were never any bull skeletons found. All of the tombs were empty and open, telling us that they never found advanced technology at the site. Just a bunch of sand and sticks. The problem with all of this is that we have shown that the pyramids, under radar scanning, show that there is so much more underneath them. We saw that in 1991, seismic scans were conducted, revealing rectangular cavities beneath the Sphinx's front paws and along its sides. They were not natural. Yet Zahi Hawass lies constantly and denies it all. We've covered this guy. He is not to be trusted at this point in time. So why say they found nothing when it's so obvious that they did? Why lie to us? They did find something, and it wasn't just pottery, where we are told they were actually finding hieroglyphs resembling circuitry and unknown symbols, with artifacts vanishing into private collections, shipped to Europe and the US without public records. 1933, the secrecy begins, banning foreign-led excavations, restricting access, finding old world massive scientific discoveries flying at us. Germany was absorbed by the USA, Operation Paperclip, where over 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians were all brought to the US to run these intelligence agencies, including
The Cold War was just something that they show it on the outside, very conflicting, but it was the period when every intelligence agency was actually born. Like, it was a period of, this is how you can actually like look into the history of CIA, those and all that stuff. But you can actually see that it's a period of, it's not like something they actually want us to believe, like the Soviets and US. They're kind of like a tensions between them. No, they're always working together. We're like
NASA. The Rand Corporation was fully operational in the 1950s, where they referenced subterranean vaults in Japan that were similar to those in Giza. And then what do you know? 1956, here comes AI. The birth of artificial intelligence, 1956, a Dartmouth conference, where we see that Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts, they already published papers 13 years prior describing neural networks using binary logic, where their work was resembling something already known, something they found, not something they just imagined. 1943, these two published a groundbreaking paper titled A Logical Calculus of the Ideas Imminent in the Nervous Activity. This paper predicted the structure of artificial neural networks. This is decades before computing could even handle them. The paper used binary logic gates, or zeros and ones, threshold activation, network structures. We're all told that there was no technology available available to something they had access to. There was nothing to base this information off of. Yet they just imagined it out of thin air, all before the first digital computers were even working. I don't believe it came from their imagination at all. I believe it came from memory, from something that was found. You have to ask, how did two guys in 1943 just randomly
Makes me wonder artificial intelligence may be used in ancient civilization or used in 200 years before, certain kind of advanced civilization like Tartaria. We don't know what actually happened there. Some kind of, advanced civilization may use AI. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, like, the deception, that's being brought to us.
lay out perfectly structured?
And what are the things are they actually hiding, Imagine if we get to use AI that's in the public. Imagine the most advanced shit they actually have. The United States military have. Like, imagine the advanced shit they actually have right now. Not the one that's released in the public, because, they would never release the most advanced thing in the public.
Precise layered nodes, the tree of life. Interconnected, energetic functions, system modular, with interconnected forces like logic gates or computational nodes. This is crucial for AI and supercomputers. Binary logic or dualism, and hermetic thought structures that run like flowcharts. It's exactly how an AI can continue to learn, continue to make new decisions. This is not something that two guys just came up with, especially when neither of these guys were even computer scientists. We're just getting started today. Welcome to episode 139.
So almost make me believe that these people are actually chosen, like, they're not actually smart. People are put in positions of power. You're gonna reveal set this at this time. They're not even like competent in any field whatsoever.
My lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. Are you a yo-yo dieter? You diet. 1943 McCulloch and Pitts write this paper, explaining AI to a T, without having any computer science background at all, where their paper comes 13 years before neural networks became usable in computing. They described nonlinear, recursive systems, using symbolic logic, using old world systems. So if they didn't make it up out of thin air, where did these two get the old world technology from? Pitts and McCulloch worked directly under Norbert Wiener at MIT, the founder of cybernetics, and heavily involved in top secret wartime projects, with deep connections to DARPA's forerunner, Office of Scientific Research and Development, the Manhattan Project Circle, and early RAND Corporation contacts. Having no computers, not one, zero, to even test this idea, McCulloch and Pitts described how binary logic and threshold activation could mimic brain function. And then just 13 years later, we are all given the name artificial intelligence. And 2 years after that, 1958, Mitri was founded as a spin-off of MIT's Lincoln Laboratory to manage the SAGE air defense system, a massive real-time computing network using automated decision-making. In just 2 years, from creating the name artificial intelligence, they just had this real-time computing network that used radar data, logic gates, and automated decision-making, just all ready to go. Are you sure? Or was this the first time that AI was finally reintroduced to the world? The timeline of it all is just way too fast and all over the place, creating the theory with no computers to even test it on. And they didn't even have any background in this field. Yet Mitri shows up and they have this air defense system, just making automated decisions, just 2 years after the name AI was introduced to the world. Let's keep going. I believe, in my opinion, that AI was not invented.
Yeah, advanced military systems actually using AI, artificial intelligence to make complex decisions. No, but that's not AI. That's just militaristic technology. Like,
it was resurrected. And the timeline proves this. Where in 1943, the paper was written, explaining how AI functions. 1956, the Dartmouth Conference happened, coining the term artificial intelligence. 2 years later, 1958, Mitri was launched, using AI in real-time military systems, where the weirdest part comes next.
Military systems use, advanced technology to decide things. That's not AI. That's just military technology, bro. Like, at this point, it's so, like, fake the historical narrative.
22 years later, Japan, AI is finally patented. 40 years after McCulloch and Pitts' paper, when we already know that AI was being used in the US government way before this. We just showed this. We now understand that old world technology is being used before it's patented in public knowledge. I believe that patents are admission points to the public eye. SAGE, operational in the 1950s, the AI system that the US government was running, well before it was ever patented, and also before the term artificial intelligence was coined in 1956. This SAGE system took in real-time radar data from over 100 radar stations across North America, analyzed it with massive central computers, made automated decisions about whether a target was friendly or hostile, and gave suggested responses. It thought for itself on whether they should send a missile, a jet, or scramble defense. It had touchscreens, like iPads, for interaction. Well, we are now proving yet another technology was given back to us, and E.A. Johnson didn't invent it at all in 1965. We are showing that they have all of this, and they choose who is going to publicly give it back to us. It is incredible. Factual evidence that these supposed creators of technology, they didn't create anything at all. They were shown the old world technology, and then they were chosen to be the official narrative's supposed guy, pinned as the creator. It is a systematic lie, and we have just exposed this, where Sage, also networked across multiple regions, connected by long-range telephone data lines, or the internet. This
Unless it matches
is the 1950s.
That's AI, bro. Like, they're using that shit in the 1950s. This description matches the use of modern AI.
All told that the internet was invented in 1969, where the first message was supposedly
Yeah, another lie.
sent between UCLA and Stanford on October 29th, 1969. This is a bunch of lies that are now exposed. Sage had internet. They had AI, they had iPads, they had all of it, and I'm sure so much more. And having all of it before the stupid stories that were told, all of it was found, and it is placed back into the world through lies, fake creators, and fake timelines, and lies about the discoveries, telling us that they never found anything at these sites in the early 1920s.
Also makes me wonder how long they actually had this technology. Like,
And it couldn't be further from the truth. Let's take a minute and thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, Rejuvenate for my work, built by Mitri, was using MIT's technology, we are told. And yet we don't officially know how long AI and all of this has been known about. It could be much earlier than this, but this officially predates the official narrative without a doubt. We are told that it was the most advanced computing system network of its time, an AI decision-making system, touchscreen-based interaction, interactive display screens, controlled by a light gun, internet, using this technology nearly 2 decades before the public was introduced to anything similar, where the timeline is clear and undeniable in my opinion. This is gonna change the world forever, and you're never gonna listen to those stupid stories again. 1951 to 1958, Rand, Mitri, and Sage were all operational, using all of the technologies that we just mentioned, where the official narrative tells us internet doesn't exist. A lie. 1958, Mitri was founded. Sage Systems Online. With screen interaction, the official narrative says nothing about this. 1960s.
bro, they had this shit way before. You've been deceived on many levels.
Rand, Mitri, and OSRD, or the Office of Scientific Research and Development. Really quick, the OSRD was Rand. It was Mitri. It was the NSA. It was all of it. And then after the World War II ended, OSRD branched off into all these divisions, all involved in secure network development, the internet. But the official narrative tells the public that most of the 1960s were the pre-internet era, with 1969 being the official launch of it. Yet another lie. And then in the 1980s, we all finally see the first patent for AI, coming from Japan, when at this point they were already using AI for decades. And I believe they have been using it a lot longer than 1943. When Warren McCulloch and Walter Pitts finally published their paper in 1943, a logical calculus of the ideas immanent in nervous activity, the first public mathematical.
Bro, they're just winging it, bro. Like, at this point, like, how they got this information, they're just winging it. They just thought of it, wrote it down on paper. Like, that's how it goes in the 1940s, bro. Like, you just wing it and shit happens.
Model of a neural network, predicting core AI architecture. All
You don't need trial and error. You just actually wing it, bro. Like, that's how people get shit done.
before the first digital computer even existed in a usable form. Again, we just showed that they lie. We just showed that they have all of this technology. We know
Computers, semiconductor chips, everything, bro. It's just reintroduced into our timeline. This thing existed way before. Like, it's so crazy.
that these two didn't just pull this technology out of a hat and write a perfect paper on it. That's illogical. We know that they had this technology because when they were using it militarily, there were never any flaws. It worked perfectly. And we know that that's not how things work. We know that there's trial and error. And if you're truly developing something, things naturally progress. There are going to be flaws and then corrections. When Sage was using this technology in the 19
Nah, they just wrote it down on a piece of paper. They thought it in their brain, just wrote it down on a piece of paper. They didn't even test it. Like, that's how shit happens.
50s, this was done. There was no trial and error after years and years of having it, meaning that they had this technology prior to that 1943 paper, where Sage, according to public records, costed the government approximately $10 billion in the 1950s, which is over $100 billion today, making it one of the most expensive defense systems ever built. Sage wasn't just for war. I believe without a doubt that it was a classified AI-based military system project that nobody even knew existed until right now. An old world technology that was brought back into the world, found, rediscovered. And once again, we have to ask, did it ever even leave in the first place? Or has it always been here? And these are just branches of its capability, a computer system that is able to think, adjust, and make decisions in a second or less, constantly molding to improve and think for itself. What is AI? Where did it really come from, and how long has it really been here? Something that we know has been operational since the 1950s, before the public even knew about it. And then we're lied to about the official release date, meaning we don't understand the true timeline of it, the progression of it. But what we do know now is that AI was never created when we were told that it was. And it was here all along, for so many more years than what we were told, where Sage wasn't the only group using the AI in the 1950s. RAND was invested in predictive modeling, logic networks, and game theory. MIT's Lincoln Lab, or Mitri, was using neural network, lifelike simulations. The CIA, NSA, and OSRD were all involved in top secret computing programs that have never been declassified. We know all about these groups and what they like to do, including the Bell Labs, where in the 1950s, they were experimenting with speech recognition, pattern detection, and self-adaptive systems, machine learning. And the one thing that all of these groups have in common, if you're living in the USA, they are all 100% funded by you. 100% funded by the public. They found the technology, they lied about it, and we all wrote the checks. Because every single one of these groups are not only government funded, but also...
Yeah, what the fuck? Did they got me? Like, bruh. I think that's about it. I think they got me. So see you guys. Take care.